Thanks a lot. See you. The national system of transparency in Mexico, it's about 1977 to 2017, 40 years to transition of the democracy. In my country, we have a vast experience about the effective exercise to the access to information. The institution that I lead have or plays a primary importance about this topic. But when we are in front of you, in my country, all the people are discussing about the future of the democracy, but of the electoral problems about the financing, the funds to the public funds for the political parties. In Mexico, the transparency, the cradle of the transparency institutional was the reform electoral, but maybe we can say that the cradle of the institutional transparency is the distrust about the government and about the elections, the public elections. The next year, the next year, 2018, we will be the most important, the most complex competition for the democratic process, electoral process. And the problem about the democracy to transparent information is about the authoritarian regime was founded at 1920. I can say, yeah, 1929, and turning points in 1977, when the Constitution was reformed to say the state will guarantee the right to access to information, but was slept this sentence because was until 2002 when we want the first law to transparency and access to information for Mexico. But in 1977, not only the Constitution was reformed to say that, to incorporate that the right to access to information, we had the first electoral law and the amnesty to the prisoners of conscience. They were closed in the prison, referential prison. The name is the Lecumberri Palace, like the Bastille, Mexican Bastille, like Bastilla Mexicana. But the several episodes for the construction, for the culture about the transparency and public access is possible. And in Mexico, we had a good experience, but because the open government, accountability, and open access was possible because the distrust in the government and the political parties was fighting between and against to the party in the power. The opposition, the oppositors to the regime was fighting enough to conquer the government until the year 2000, the opposition won to the presidents. The alternation was possible. Since this time until now, we have another problem. The more intensive period for the democracy in my country was until 1985 to 2015. And then we had the most terrible earthquake in 1985, like now, last week, we had another big earthquake. And the same between this problem was that the big or the most devastating earthquake that the 1985 stripped that the corruption, public corruption about the constructive to the building, especially with the building made or related for the government. And this crisis about the thousand persons die, and the government disappeared, was invisible, was the first demonstration that the open access to information was very necessary. And then now, when we were another experience, tragic experience like the earthquake the last weeks, it's had another threat, another situation that the exigencia to the people against the credibility to the government. The several instruments to access to information related to the electoral was for example, in Mexico, was demanded the create to the visit is the vote register, national vote register for 92 million people that's able to vote. And this, a lot of money was spent and form this institution, electoral institutions, like, for example, a photo voting card. All the people has a photo voting card, but it's a lot of expensive for the money, public money. And the public competition in Mexico is about for funds, public funds. But now, when the earthquakes, the last week, the discussion in this moment is maybe will be stop the financing with public money to the elections in Mexico. It's a big question. I don't know if it's possible, that's true, but now in this moment the discussion is for this problem, because the distrust is very big, and the people, the citizens are encouraged against to the situation and the destination to a lot of money, to public money, to the democracy. The cost of the democracy in Mexico is maybe the more proportionality in the world. This is the situation, and in 2014 was reformed the Constitution again, and was more explicit to the obligations to the institutions to give information to the people. The institution that I lead is INAI, Institution National to the Transparency, Access to the Information and Data Protection. We have 7 commissioners, and we have to resolve every week 100 to 200 or 300 claims against the questions to the people made and are disagree. I don't know if it's possible to explain for me in this moment con clarity, but you can find in the information I bring for you that the statistic, the proportionality, but you can understand that the situation about the information, the public information in this moment. But the Mexican are singular. Cioran say that Russia and Spain are vitality, but Mexico is surrealist. Maybe. I don't know if it's true. But the special significance has the built-in to the institution, to the institutionality in Mexico. It's a experimental institutionalism, maybe, that's true. The processes, the liberalism process are until 1970 and 2017, 40 years to transitions to the democracy. That's true because was promoting to the justice, to the peace, and includes to the diversity and pluralism. But now we have another situation. The earthquake, the 1985, but another earthquake maybe will be to create another change, important change, into the form and to the way to the made the money, the public money to the democracy in Mexico. I hope to see if you want to ask me or same. I hope to, or I wait your comments, please. Mío, estuve yo.